Hello friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul Lectures. Dear friends, here we are for you with another session on career counseling called Pratibha Samvardhan. And dear friends, today we are going to discuss in detail about the emerging areas in the technology field. So we would like to tell you all that today we have with us in our studios Mr. Rakesh Bhatia. Mr. Rakesh Bhatia is a career counselor, as well as we would like to tell you all that he has served in the software industry for 2 decades, and we believe that he is the most appropriate person to talk on this particular topic, that is emerging trends, emerging options in technology. So let's welcome our guest, Mr. Rakesh Bhatia. Hello sir, welcome to the lecture.
Hello.
So we are, as we have discussed also, that we are going to talk in detail about the emerging areas. Yeah. So first of all, we would like to know from you, what are the areas in the field of technology where students can go ahead?
Okay, so as everybody understands nowadays, technology is a very dominant force. So students mostly prefer going into computer science, IT and related areas. So there are some areas which are particularly very good, although I cannot say that the list is exhaustive, but we can discuss few top areas. So which are data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, which means Internet of Things, blockchain, cloud computing, cyber security and quantum computing. So let us also understand what is it, like for example, what is data science? See, nowadays, that, like all our data is on computers, like we have huge data. For example, if you talk about Google searches, so more than about 80 crore of searches happen per day. So which generates a lot of data. For example, it could generate data like what is the age of people who are searching, for what thing they are searching, and how many minutes do they spend on internet looking at the things, buying patterns and everything. So this data can be very useful. This is just one of the examples. We are generating trillions and trillions of data points every day now, because everywhere we have sensors, we have cameras, lot of data is being generated. Now this data, unless it is analyzed, it is not very useful. So for data science, exactly what it means, just to give you a simple example, if you have a Excel sheet, so Excel sheet, it can have data of say 50 students in a class. So these students, the column wise could be like the age, the height, the weight, and maybe marks, physics, chemistry, etc., etc. Now on the row side we have name of the students. So this simple data, if we analyze, we can find out say average age of the students, average weight of the students, or average height of the students. But how can somebody who is analyzing utilize this? For example, in a hostel, when a teacher looks at this data and he finds that average weight of the students is say 60 kgs, but there are 3 students who are having weight of say 45 kgs. Now he or she can understand that these students are underweight. Similarly, there could be people who are overweight, somebody who is 80 or 90 or whatever. Now looking at this data, one can analyze what actions to take next. For example, for these 3 or 4 students who are underweight, they will try to keep them on a diet which increases their weight. Similarly, for people who are overweight, they might have a diet which tends to reduce their weight. So it's a very simple example of data science. Exactly means taking actions by analyzing data. This is the simplest definition which I can think of. And because I'm giving a simple example, so just to make you understand, actual data could be much more complex. Yeah. So in data science, what we do is first we collect data, then we clean up the data, and then we analyze the data. Once the data is analyzed, if there is some special field. For example, there is genetic data, which only, like after interpretation, doctor will tell us, or a specialist will tell us that, okay, what does it mean? But for general things, after analyzing, we ask the simple question, what to do next or how to move ahead. For example, a company has some data in terms of advertising. What they do is they advertise on, say, internet, radio, television and newspaper. Now after 6 months, they are trying to analyze the data, from where we got the customers, where is the highest return, and all that. Based on this analysis, they can, during the next quarter or year or whatever, they can reduce ad spend in a particular medium. For example, if they find that newspaper is not working so well, so they might reduce. Now what is happening? We are taking actions based on analysis of data. So that is what data science is. We will talk later about, like what is required and, like how do we get into that. Okay. The next field which is very talked about is artificial intelligence or AI. Many of you would have got introduced to ChatGPT now. So it's what is called a large language model. What it essentially does is that if you ask questions, you can almost have a conversation with ChatGPT, which means that you can say, okay, I am feeling low, give me some suggestions. So it will give you some suggestions. If you say, I have to write an essay in 500 words on being a hero, yeah, so it will generate some content according to whatever you are asking for it. So that is a very common, that is a very popular example. The other examples which were already there are chatbots, are digital assistants like, say, Alexa, like Siri, Cortana. These are the name of assistants which are popularized by various companies. Okay, so Siri is for, say, Apple, and Cortana is for other, and Alexa is by Amazon. So artificial intelligence, what does it essentially mean? It means we are trying to do things similar to human mind. So how does human mind operate? Okay, it operates based on getting some inputs, then again analyzing and learning by experience. Okay, so we are trying to make the software do all this, though human intelligence is generalized, whereas artificial intelligence is always optimized. Optimized means, for example, if you call a bank, there will be a chatbot. So this chatbot is optimized to answer questions related to banking. Obviously, it cannot give you answers to something related to motorcycles. Okay, so artificial intelligence at present, it is optimized for a particular purpose. For example, you could have apps or chatbots relating to weather. You could have similarly chatbots relating to various different things. But generally speaking, they are optimized for one thing or the other. Now, artificial intelligence again is the data science field is a vast field. If you understand a Venn diagram, so data science is a big circle. Then in that smaller circles, artificial intelligence and machine learning, which overlap to in some areas. So that is what artificial intelligence. Similarly, machine learning, we are trying to automate things. Machine learning means that we are telling software to learn by experience, like humans learn. For example, when you were young, your mother pointed out at a cat and told you, this is a cat. Maybe then she repeated it 3 times, 5 times, and 6 times she asked you, what is this? Then if you were able to gather and remember, you said that this is a cat. Now similarly, we are trying to teach the software to do this, but humans learn with smaller set of examples, whereas software learns with a large set of examples. For example, if we want to teach a software to recognize picture of a cat, you will need thousands of cat pictures, and that is how it will work. Once the software reads thousands of cat pictures, then it is able to find out amongst those what are the pictures of cat, and there could be errors also. For example, it might label a dog as a cat based on similar features and all, and there will be some accuracy, so it will not be 100% accurate. So data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning combined, all these three fields are very, very hot in terms of career opportunities, in terms of the kind of roles they have. They are applicable now almost in every field, in healthcare, in education, in climate, in business, you name it, and artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science will be used in some form or the other. Okay. The next good field or upcoming field is Internet of Things, IoT it is called. Now what is IoT? So basically IoT is when a hardware becomes intelligent. Intelligent in the sense that it can do some basic action, and based on some event it can do certain things. For example, you are aware of the watches, like smart watches which are coming nowadays. They have many sensors. So they sense heartbeat, they could sense your temperature, they could also measure blood sugar level in certain cases. Okay. So, or there could be a machine which has IoT inbuilt. Now what does it mean? For example, a machine which has IoT, it might give you a signal or a SMS or an email saying that this temperature is going up in this part, or this part is getting heated up, or for example, my service is due in next 10 days or 10 hours or whatever. Also, when you use a card which you just tap, that is also an example of IoT, and you make the payment by just tapping. You don't have to insert it in a slot or then feed a password or whatever. You just do tap it and the payment is deducted from your bank account. Second example common is on the highways. So you have high frequency receivers and transmitters, and when you go through with your car, that understands and cuts money from your bank account. So that is also an example of IoT. So basically it means that the hardware which you are using, so common examples could be also like smart home. Smart homes means sensor or a light which goes off. For example, in a room there are 3 humans, and when they are moving around, the sensor is on or the light is on. So after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the sensor detects there is no movement, so it can switch off the light, or it can dim the light based on whatever it is programmed for. Very simple use case. Imagine, and this is very possible in near future, you are sitting in your office and you get a message from your fridge. Your fridge has sent you SMS that last bottle or last packet of milk has been picked up from the milk shelf, which means that the sensor senses that weight is 0. Now it has generated based on that an SMS saying please order 1 kg or 2 kg of milk from Amazon. In a more advanced version, it could say that I have ordered 2 kg of milk, please pay. So these are very simple examples of Internet of Things. Okay, it's a very, very powerful technology used in many places. Okay. Next is blockchain. So what is blockchain? Basically, for example, if you store your data on computer, say example your laptop or your system, if that goes bad, for example it is formatted in some way or it has some virus, then all the data could be gone. Now blockchain means basically to secure this, we store data on multiple set of computers. Okay, why is it called blockchain? Because the technology is such that it is similar to a ledger. For example, in an office, if there is a ledger, maintenance of some, say, payments or etc. etc. If something is being done, something is being paid, then one person signs it. So to make it more secure, we need 3 signatures maybe, so one person signs, 2 person, and then third person. Similar to that, if we store data on multiple computers, first thing is that if data goes bad on one computer, then we have a backup. One is that. Second, if somebody wants to change that data, now 2 or 3 computers have to authorize it. They have to authenticate it. In that sense, it becomes very, very secure. Now, example of blockchain in real life. In India, we have a lot of land disputes. Why are the land disputes there? Because at certain level, at a Patwari level, some papers got changed, and then later on there is created a dispute. If the land records are all put on blockchain, then it will have one record at the maybe a lower level, one at a district level, and one at a commissionerate level also, which means that to change the record in all these 3 places will not be easy. It will be impossible almost. So which will reduce lot of disputes. So anything that is of value can be tracked through blockchain. Okay, what it means is that if there is a diamond coming out of a mine, you can track its way. Okay, this got out from this mine, then it got here, then it got here, then it got here. It can track any duplicate things. For example, there are a lot of brands which face the challenge of duplicates. So if we put all the data of manufacturing on blockchain, then it will become very easy to track. Now we have barcodes, etc., but that technology also can be, like it's not foolproof. Blockchain is almost very difficult to duplicate. Okay, so this is also a technology which is coming up very fast. It is used in a lot of banking areas. It is used in encryption. Encryption means security. Okay, so it is a wonderful thing where we can get into this area. We'll discuss later how and what and all. Okay, right now we are discussing what are the new areas which you can look at. Okay, then next comes cloud computing. What is cloud computing? As I said earlier also, example, if your data is stored on your single computer but it goes bad, then all the data can be lost. So what big companies have done, Amazon or Microsoft or Google, they have created server farms. Server farm means that there is a huge area, kilometers and kilometers, and there are lots and lots of servers there. Now, what is the advantage? So, for example, imagine if you have a 100 people company, IT company, it's a small company, but it needs servers to work on, it needs computers. So, if you use cloud computing, you don't have to do all that. You can take basically servers on rent from Amazon, and also the main advantage is that you don't need to maintain security, you don't need to maintain upgrades, and also you can change it on the go. For example, now 50 people in your office have joined. In a traditional setup, you would have to create space, server, computers, security, antivirus, buy everything. It includes space, air conditioning, other costs. But now you can just rent, like computer services, basically server from bigger companies. So that is cloud computing. A very common example is, say, your Gmail. Your Gmail data is not stored on your computer. You just need a password and an internet connection, and then you can connect to the cloud. Okay, cloud means basically a server farm where the data is stored and you can access it through the internet and a password. Okay, so that is cloud computing, very powerful technology. And so what is happening is, in cloud computing there are different standards. For Microsoft has created Azure, what they call their cloud system Microsoft Azure, or Google is called Google Cloud, and similar. So in cloud computing, what happens, you have to be certified in a particular technology, and then you can work on that technology. Okay, the next area is cyber security. You know that most of our banking, most of our data, and our business information. A lot of things are happening online. Now cybersecurity is a big area. How, just to give you an example, imagine that if Google site is not secure and Google goes down for half a day, there will be havoc all over the world. Okay, for example, if somebody hacks into a banking site or a banking server and draws out, like money or whatever. So cybersecurity is a very important area. 2-3 things. One is that it is a very geeky area. Geeky area means that you have to be knowledgeable about a lot of different things. You need to know networking, you need to know softwares, you need to know networking protocols, you need to also know hardware. But if you are really good, then there's no limit in terms of opportunity and work. You can work in 2 ways. Generally speaking, cybersecurity experts work when they work with a company. They essentially try to assess the threat level. For example, they will create artificial attacks. That is my system compromised? For example, if they will create an attack which will test whether somebody can penetrate or get into the system or not. Okay. Similarly, there are certifications here also. So in cybersecurity, there are various certifications which you can do. For some you need experience, and for some you can do directly. Okay. The other next area, which is a very new area, it is called quantum computing. Now what is it? Basically, for example, if we are trying to solve climate change, so it has so many variables that it is not very easy to solve that. Essentially, what quantum computing does is that it solves problems which are very massive, very big, and they have too many variables, very complex problems. So quantum computing is a new and upcoming. It is a very mathematically oriented field. High level of mathematics is needed. So this area, because it utilizes supercomputing stages and all that stuff, it is being at present done by only very big companies. Though there are platforms now where you can run your quantum models and get the outputs. But generally speaking, it's a very complex area and it's a new area where you can work. So what we have done is that we have discussed the new areas which are there in computer science. So these are areas, I would say these are very new areas, and they have a lot of opportunity. Also because demand is very high. So I think if you are good at this area, then you'll face no problems in your career.
Definitely. So you have given us a detailed description of all the streams where students can opt for and go ahead. But sir, the question arises here. Now, what type of courses are available so that you can pursue that particular course, or one can study this particular stream?
Okay. So general route is to take science, PCM essentially, and then do a BTech degree from any college in India or outside India. That is also possible. If you don't have science, for example, you have commerce with maths, then probably you can look for or opt for BCA, Bachelor's in Computer Application. So that is one route. Typically in the field of data science, artificial intelligence, AI and ML, there are 2 things one can do. One is that the route I told you, BTech, and then you kind of do it. Second area is that if you have maths, then you can also get into this area. How? You can typically do a statistics honors, though maths honors is also okay, but statistics honors is preferable, because the algorithms which are there in data science, artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are running on statistics and Python. There are 2 things which you should be good at. So Python is a programming language, it's a general purpose programming language, and if you learn it well, and along with that, if you are good at statistics, for example, if you are doing statistics honors, there are statistics honors is available at many institutes. The best known institute in India is ISI Kolkata, Indian Statistical Institute Kolkata, where you can do a bachelor's course now. Earlier they used to only have masters, they have bachelor's course now. So you can do a statistics honors course, and then if you want to be proficient in programming also, you can choose a language which is called R. There is a language called R which is used for statistical modeling. So if you are good at both, then you can get into data science, artificial intelligence and machine learning also. Particularly if you look at the profiles of heads of large IT companies, they would be PhDs in mathematics. They will not be engineers, because that requires a higher degree of mathematics. So that is a very ideal way. If you like maths, if you love maths, then probably you can choose this routes, and that involves no physics, no chemistry. So if somebody is like that, he can go for this route also.
So this is for the higher education. If student is at the school level, then what subject should be kept in mind? What subject should be taken? One question is this, and the another one is, if somebody is from the non-sciences background, or if have one subject at school level, then what one can do so that one can opt for these courses or these subjects?
So there are 2-3 ways. One is that as I said, you have to take PCM, or either commerce with maths is also fine. Humanities with maths is also fine if you are going for maths also. But in case there is a, sometimes students, because of various influences, do some things and they then might regret later that, oh my, this option got closed. So for that, CB has a very wonderful route from your passing out, like 12th class, to till 2 years. What you can do is, you can get the subjects added in your mark sheet by giving exams from the open school. So the route is like this, that you study the subject, you give the exams through the open school, and then you can submit your mark sheet, original mark sheet, and then get the subjects added on the original mark sheet you have. So that is also one route, in case you have missed it out. But that's a very long route, and that's a little problematic. So I would say that you, just to be sure, you get some career counseling in your class 10th or 11th, and then you can choose the right subjects.
That's why we say making right choice at a right time is most important thing to be taken care of, and that's why we too plan for you, and we too organize such sessions for you so that you can take right decision at right time. Dear friends, there is a lot to discuss on this particular topic, and we would like you to keep watching us, to keep giving your feedback. We would be discussing more. Thank you so much.